Hey guys, welcome to another Donaron Monologue podcast. I am, of course, I am again your single host for these, Beau. And of course, before I get into anything else, I do want to mention our sponsor, Ashley Luann K on Instagram. A description for a link to that Instagram, will be found in our description of this video or podcast. An excellent resource on nursing. You could find pretty much anything you want to know about nursing within the confines of that Instagram feed. So please check her out. We strongly encourage you to do that. And welcome to our latest episode. We are trying our best to bring these to you daily. So be sure to check back a lot. And I want to talk a little bit about a hobby that my son and I discovered last year around Thanksgiving. I have, for a very long time, been a huge fan of Gundam. Of course, when anime was hitting it big here in the U.S., one of the first anime we were exposed to on Toonami, because let's face it, if you're in the age group that I'm in, quit lying. You did not drive out to, if you lived here in Indiana, quit lying about driving out to Los Angeles for conventions and getting like your VHS imports of anime. You watch Toonami. Just own up to it. Toonami was a great medium for spreading anime, and it's not fair to you to keep robbing that just to make yourself sound cooler. But Gundam Wing, one of the best Gundam series, and was on Toonami, and it was incredible. It's everything I want in anime. Like, it's this huge dramatic story with these great huge personality characters and giant robots beating the tar out of each other. It's everything I want in anime. It's wonderful. So last year around Thanksgiving, my son and I wanted to find something more I could do with my son. I wanted to find another activity that me and him could bond over. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start building Gunpla. So we bought I bought Exia Repair 2 from Gundam 00 and Wing Gundam from Gundam Wing, and they were high grade models, like $18 each. And we put those together in like an hour each. They're super fun, but we've moved on to real grade models, which cost a bit more, but the detail's incredible. So I'm going to get into a little bit of the Gunpla hobby and what all that means. Gunpla is a huge hobby. It caught on really big in the 80s in Japan because of the extreme popularity of Mobile Suit Gundam in that country, of course. And the Gunpla hobby is really big over there. You'll find Gunpla stores. Like over here we have Games Workshop stores that just sell stuff for the Warhammer hobby. That's kind of the way Gunpla is. It's Bandai just has stores that will sell you just Gunpla. Now, Gunpla is a portmanteau, of course, of Gundam and plastic. But Gunpla actually also covers, if you're talking about Gunpla, you can also be talking about any sort of mecha model. The Evangelion units, if you're building a model of those, saying Gunpla is also the correct term. But Gundams, of course, are the originals. And speaking of original, this particular Gunpla that I brought for my description is the RX-78-2, the original Mobile Suit Gundam, 1979, the very original series that sparked one of the biggest phenomena in anime. Little interesting fact about the Gunpla hobby, a few years back, I can't remember exactly when, the transportation minister of Japan actually resigned because of his Gunpla habit. So the fact check that's interesting. But I remember seeing that on like Yahoo News or something. Don's saying, yeah, it's true. He was the minister of transportation. He was a member of the Japanese cabinet. This man reported the prime minister of Japan on issues, and he was like, I can't go on. I can't in good faith keep doing this because of my Gunpla habit. Note that he didn't say I will give up my Gunpla habit to do a better job. He said, I'm giving up my job to keep building Gunpla. So I'm sorry, I don't know the gentleman's name, because, again, it was just something I saw, but hats off to you. You chose what was more important. Those bullet trains run themselves, man. You picked the right thing. So Gunpla is an interesting hobby because you don't need much to do it. I bought a $5 kit off Amazon that had, you want clippers, you want a file, because let's go ahead and open it. And I'm not going to be building this on camera, obviously, because that's something I do with my son. And you're going to get little pieces like these here, and you could you cut these out. That's what you use your clippers for, and they click together. You can glue if you're that guy, but and as you can see, this is real grade, so the detail's extreme. So you've got a lot of parts. And that if that turns you off, it's probably best that you just don't do any modeling hobby whatsoever, because the devil's in the details, as they say, and in this case, the fun's in the details. Now, another interesting thing about Gunpla is there are no Gunpla made in America. They're all made in Japan, so your instructions are Japanese. That's not a problem, though, because Japan understands the popularity of these items outside of its own borders, and therefore these instructions are also alphabetically coded. So you never... And, of course, each of these parts here has the code next to the part before you cut it out. So long as you cut out as you go, you needn't really worry about getting lost. So that's... So you can glue these together if that's the kind of thing you do, or you just snap them together. You'd be surprised how beautiful and detailed these models are. Even the high grades look awesome. They're fully posable. They are way more posable than any action figure you've ever bought. So you'll see a lot of cool displays. They're customizable if you're really good with paints. If you were a Warhammer guy, I've seen Warhammer guys move on to Gunpla and make awesome, like, battle-damaged units and stuff like that. And actually, before I was married and had children, I was actually a model train guy. I liked in-scale model trains, but that is way too expensive. If you're a married man holding that hobby, you're making bank, dude, because that is an expensive hobby. I believe the locomotive I had for my set alone was like $180. So that was just the locomotive, and that was in scale, which is about that big of a locomotive. But what I loved about that hobby was the customization. Of course, old people that love model trains hate the customization aspect of it. They'll be like, why'd you put this? That kind of car would never have been on a diesel-pulled locomotive. And man, calm down. I had like Soviet missile cars. I had like on a passenger train. I just had fun with it. And of course, that's what you should always do. And Gunpla is kind of the same. These parts are, in a sense, kind of like Lego in that they're interchangeable. If you want to take the the RX-78-2's torso and put it on the legs of, say, even Epion, you could do that. That's not a problem. And so it's a very relaxing hobby. It's a very expressive hobby. There's an Instagram account called Gundamstagram. Very, very cool models featured there. It's just a really... And doing it with my son is great because we actually have something we built together that we could put on, and he'll go throughout the day and pose them differently. We have an anime table at our house where we just have anime collectibles. We have a Chibi Vegeta, a Chibi Zamasu, hugely great detailed models. I mean, figurines of Naruto and Kakashi, and my personal favorite one, a Goku throwing the Kamehameha. That figurine is just beautiful, and our Gundam just go great there. I'll post a picture of it to our social media eventually when I remember. And it's a great way to express yourself while showing something you love. I think Gunpla is awesome. You'll meet great people through following these accounts on social media. I've met great people who enjoy this hobby all over the world. Gundam's huge, guys. Like, Gundam's every bit as big as Star Wars. It really is, just not as not marketed as aggressively. So, guys, if you want to, high-grade models are cheap. You can buy them on eBay for like $18. A lot of these sellers offer the fast and free shipping on eBay. A ton of these sellers do. Or you could go to the Gundam store, which is based, I think, in Daytona Beach. Go to them, the Gundam Store USA. Their shipping's great, and they offer all sorts of Bandai models. I know a buddy at work just bought an awesome X-Wing model. Luke Skywalker's X-Wing, not Poe's. I still think Poe's is cool, but let's face it, if you want to display a model, you want to display the Red 5. Modeling's just really cool, man. Like, it's just a really cool hobby to get into. I can't wait to get into perfect grades. That's a little bit out of my price range right now, but perfect grades, they're a bit bigger because these are 1/144th scale. So this is 1/144th the size of an actual Gundam, which, as you know, if you watch the shows, if you've ever seen the anime, Gundams typically are as tall as skyscrapers. So But and for those of you wondering, yes, this is the Gundam that the person in Ready Player One transformed into when he said, "I will choose the form of Gundam," and he said it in Japanese, and the Gundam showed up, and it was really cool. I actually take issue with that scene because there's no way you're going to tell me Mechagodzilla would have stood up to the RX-78-2. The only explanation for that kid getting whooped is that the kid made the mistakes, because the RX-78-2 would have smoked Mechagodzilla. The beam saber, the beam sword, is a lightsaber. It has it runs on the same principles. Just cut his head off and be done with it. But it is a neat scene. And actually, one of the guys involved with the making of the original Mobile Suit Gundam actually said that he watched the scene in the movie and was very proud that something he was involved in creating was at the most dramatic scene in the movie. So it actually is kind of cool. It even does the pose when the kid first turns into it, and it's kind of a neat scene. Seeing it in a movie with such great special effects, though, really makes me crave a Gundam movie, like an actual... Forgive me, but I did just say I wanted a live-action adaptation of an anime. I know those almost never turn out okay, but I think that'd be neat. And guys, if you've never checked out a Gundam anime, please go and watch one. They're incredible. They tell very mature... I know they're about giant robots fighting each other, but they tell very mature stories through that medium. And some of the best action sequences, character design, and mecha design in anime. There's a reason Gundam is the gold standard. It was the original mecha anime. It's the best mecha anime in the sense of this style of mecha. I should state that, but absolutely fantastic. Please check it out. And if you love building models, in fact, kind of get your weird uncle who likes building Nazi tanks all the time with models. And it's really weird because it's always the Nazi ones he wants to build. Get him to build Gundam. And you can even ease him into it. You're like, Japan was a member of the Axis too. And then you can ease him into that and make him not a closeted Nazi through building Gunpla. So, guys, check them out. Like I said, eBay is where I buy a lot of mine because you can find really great deals, and most of those sellers offer fast and free shipping. If I order one on Tuesday, I typically have it Friday, and I have the weekend to build it with my son. And I tell you what, I will post a photo go through of this as I build it with my son, as I enjoy that, and I'll let you guys see how fun of a hobby Gunpla is. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you want to be informed of when we're doing this again, like and subscribe. Or if you listen to the podcast, subscribe to that. Give us download it so you can listen to it on the way to work or whatever. We're very and I mean this, we're honored every single time you guys choose to listen to us. It's fantastic. It's encouraging. It's just really cool that we're reaching people. Thank you guys so much. And until next time, stay safe.